When you're doing the bench press, is your hands, how wide are they? Hi, my name is Tom Dahlman, and this is Between Two Priests. I'm here with my friend, guest this morning, Travis Flood. Before we get started, we got some theme music.
All right.
I've seen Jesus play with flames in a lake of fire. I was standing in.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Met the devil in Seattle. Spent 9 months inside the line.
Can we just listen to this?
Yeah. If Sturgill gets to be my theme music, I appreciate it.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, first question, most important. This is the one that's on every viewer's mind.
Okay.
What is Uncle Si really like?
Well, if he's like any of my people that I grew up with, he's pretty much your standard hillbilly that that just basically is himself, and the rest of the world just stands back in amazement that somebody could really be them. So yeah, so that's pretty standard issue hillbilly right there. So
were you sad when Duck Dynasty canceled?
No, actually, it's before I was one of the famous Duck Dynasty guys. I was Zach Brown, so I've always been some random, person that people thought I looked like or sounded like or did things like. So the beard, and I had the beard before both of those crews got famous. So I'm gonna say that they copied after me, not the other way.
Is that for real?
Yeah, for real. Yes, for real. So
Here,
yeah.
let's break for a word from our sponsor. So right now there's going to be fancy editing.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And we're back. So, who is the greatest actor of our generation?
Oh my gosh, of our generation, man, oh man. But there's some people that I really enjoy that, I mean, as silly as it sounds, like Leonardo DiCaprio is just ridiculous. He's really good. And then there's guys like Brad Pitt, which, has the whole gamut of from drama to comedy to action to all the things. And you have guys like Will Ferrell, who just, so our generation is like, what you want to call them the greatest. It really needs to be like what.
It's a vague term.
Yeah, because we have so many amazing, like our people are awesome, and to tell them that there's just one of them that's the greatest, like I think we're all the greatest. So
I'm gonna go with Macaulay Culkin.
yeah, Macaulay. So he, if you get it right and you can just do one or two. How many did he do? 2 of those shows? Yeah.
And
then
retired.
You're just done forever. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call right
If
there.
that's the definition of success.
Yeah, two and done. So that's pretty awesome.
So I have this that I found on the internet. This is the beard holiness chart, if you can see that. So this is a little holy. I think I almost qualify. Pretty holy. Holy. Down here is second only to the Theotokos. That's
Nice.
Greek for God.
Nice.
So I think Travis is between holy and pretty holy. What do you think?
I'm right there, right above the belly button. So
Maybe between holy and super holy.
yeah, right. That's
Do you
awesome.
think this is inaccurate? If God judges by this chart, you're gonna do well.
I hope so. I hope so. If that's all it took, because growing a beard is just doing nothing. So that's kind of that's the easiest part about growing a beard, just not messing with it.
Do you have it to cover any embarrassing face tattoos?
I don't have face tattoos, but I have a scar on my lip where my brother hit me with a horseshoe, and it covers up. Yeah, I've got a actually perfect scar right below my nose, where my little brother decided that he didn't like me very much and hit me in the face with a horseshoe. So
Well, now it's time for the serious question.
Okay, sounds good.
So in this series, if you've been watching it, Travis, we talk about vocation.
Yeah.
And we interview people who are leaders in our community, but also our parish. And we've interviewed community folks, parish folks, and you're both.
Yeah.
Because you come to church here, at least pre-pandemic.
Yes.
And you are also involved in the community.
Right.
So I think you're perfect for
Yeah,
that.
okay, good.
So we said a vocation is there's something you're good at
Yeah.
that the world doesn't value.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like playing Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
Right? I can't make a living at it.
Okay.
And then there's something that you love doing, but you're no good at.
Yeah.
We all have that in our life.
Right, for sure.
For me, that would be acting or something, you know.
Yeah, right.
And then there's something that you love doing, you're good at, and the world also values.
Right. Yeah.
And so the definition of vocation we're using in this is when your greatest joy, Travis Flood's greatest joy, and the world's deep hunger meet.
Yeah.
That's when somebody's found their vocation.
Right.
So, now disregarding all that,
Yeah, for sure.
if I asked you, what is your vocation, what would you say?
Oh man. So I mean, I have a fancy title, which is Director of Friendship House for Community Renewal, but and most people would not know what that meant. But as far as what I do, my job is to help people find the resources, social capital, tools to become who they want to be, and then inspire them to be more, if the world has kind of set a low standard for them. And so I get to work with a lot of amazing people. Some of them have huge dreams and desires, but they just don't have the resources to make those come to be.
Right.
And then some of those individuals have no hope, and because the world's beating them up, and my job is not only to help them find tools, but help them find their hope and help them find a life that's bigger and better than what the world's offering them.
Doesn't sound like a desk job.
No, it does not sound like a desk job. I mean, I have paperwork and stuff, and thank goodness that we have amazing people that work on our staff that take care of that stuff, because I am terrible at reporting and paperwork and filing things, and it's a Christmas miracle that I, get anything in on time, because when it comes time to slow down and stop and focus on reporting the things that I've done, because we have to do that, and as part of a nonprofit, role, we have to report. We have a board that we
Right.
that we report to, and that make sure that we're doing things right. If there's anything going on that is remotely important, I will drop that and go, work on helping somebody. One, because I love it, and two, because I hate the other part. So,
That's where I was about to ask.
Yes.
Since you hate the paperwork.
Yes, the paperwork's awful.
What's your favorite part about what you do?
My favorite part about what I do is that moment when people that I'm loving on realize that they have the strength that they need to be who they want to be, and that my role is no longer their mentor or the guy that helps them fix things, and my role shifts into a peer that just gets to celebrate, watch them be awesome.
So seeing someone actually move to independence.
Yeah, move to independence or
Successful.
success, or to find that spark or that thing that helps them. Like, a lot of times it's going to be me prodding them to go, hey, you can do more than this, you can be bigger than this, you're worth more than this, this place that you're stuck in. And whenever they find that, they may still have struggles, they may still, mess up, or the world may still, kick the legs out from under them. But when they find that themselves and can begin to start walking towards that without me, then I'm successful,
Because you can't do it for them.
No, you can try, you can beg and plead and push and yank and pull, but until a person is ready to make those steps by themselves, or with a little amount of help as they can, then yeah, you can't do it for them. I don't know.
So, our church does Band-Aid things. We provide about 65 sack lunches a day, which on weekdays, so about 20,000 a year.
Yeah.
We do clothes. We do showers for folks who need a shower. We're hoping to add laundry to that once we get more volunteers. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
It helps people get through problems of a day.
Yeah.
But what do you think it's going to take to fix towns like Shawnee, to help that group of folk that just seem to be stuck on the bottom?
Yeah.
That what is it gonna take to help those people find a better normal,
So
a more sustainable normal?
yeah, the first thing I'm gonna say is that I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit about how important a Band-Aid is. When you're bleeding and you need something to stop that, a Band-Aid is really important. And in that moment, that's the most important thing. And so that's one of the things that I love about Emmanuel is their heart for people in crisis, and the expectation for them other than just to be in that moment is amazing, because a lot of places there are several hoops that you have to jump through just to get that Band-Aid or just to get that relief, and Emmanuel doesn't do that. There are rules and regulations that are followed, but as far as having to be having to perform to receive your goods and services, that's one of the things that I love about Emmanuel. They just love people because it's the right thing to do. But in saying that, yes, there has to be something that helps individuals move from that constant state of survival and crisis into
which seems like a large percentage of folks.
Yes,
in
yeah,
this
yeah. In this part of the world, yeah. And so trying to figure out how to help that, and that's one of the things that we're working on in the city right now. We've had a lot of conversations throughout the years in as a pastor and as a community worker on what it would look like to build a system, and I think that's just it. There has to be an intentional conversation, not just with this church, but with the city, and with the community market, and with the Salvation Army, and with the Methodist Church, and with the Frontline Church, and the school. It has to be an effort where together we pool our resources and are intentional about our conversations in how to love individuals that have found themselves in a place where they cannot succeed on their own, or they don't have the basic things that they need to live a life that we would consider acceptable.
Right.
And then And then that's kind of tricky there too, because what I think is okay for me, and you may disagree with, and so trying to push my ideals on, well, you must have a house and a car and a job and a dog and a cat, and 2 kids and a wife,
White picket fence.
Right, exactly, but some people may like, what, I don't need all those things, but at the same time, if your choice to not desire those things or to not have those things puts you in a constant state of crisis where that you're always relying on somebody else's resources, then that's not a good spot to be in.
Right.
And so I think that's kind of the deal is our efforts need to be focused on we're always going to have homelessness. We're always going to have people that are lost. We're always going to have people that are in need. But separating the individuals from the ones that have the chronic, constant need, whether it be through their own choice or through some type of unfortunate circumstance of mental health or some terrible thing that had happened to them that keeps them from being able to succeed in society, and separate those from the ones that just have had a stinky go of it and have had some terrible things happen that have caused them to be in that situation. Right. And be really intentional about focusing the most resources on those individuals that with a little bit of love and a little bit of extra support can re-enter into what we would consider successful society. And then on the others, and it sounds terrible, but the others just help them maintain that lifestyle. If that's what they're choosing, then okay, then that's a choice. And if you're choosing to live in that lifestyle, then that's one thing. But if there's like I said, some type of mental health issue, or there's some type of trauma that is keeping them, then we need to work on those 2 issues as well. But I mean, it's really kind of a three-legged table. It's
right.
not just one thing and it fits all. There's really, like I said, the individuals that are choosing that lifestyle, then that's fine. You can choose that. The individuals who, for whatever reason, have mental health or trauma or issues that are causing them to be stuck in that, and then others who, the world's a tough place, man, and sometimes you can do everything right and it can still beat you up pretty bad, and trying to figure out how to kind of a 3-step system, the ones that need it and want to and are desiring to change, ones that the world just because of their mental health or whatever they can't change by themselves, and then the ones that are choosing. And so I think that really would we would see some positive changes if we focus things that way.
Right.
And that's that doesn't fix everything, but it kind of helps us to prioritize the resources, and because we have limited resources. We don't have all the money in the world. We don't have all the shelters in the world. We don't have all the social capital in the world. Every time I help somebody, it takes something from me. It takes something from my family, from my friends, from another person,
Right.
And that's a good thing, and we should be. But then there's only so many. There's only so much that I have to give.
Right.
And there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much sunlight before it gets dark. And
so if you had one word to say to, because I think what it takes, everything that you said is right. I think, and
yeah.
I hadn't thought about some of it, but I think it takes relationship.
It does, yes.
And it's messy.
Yeah.
And difficult.
Yes. Oh
and
my
this
gosh.
is why you're good at. I think
Right.
you're good at it because I teased you about the beard at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
But you can
Right.
you can go places I can't go, or even though I have a pretty awesome beard, but
Yeah.
or that some of the ladies who work in our porch house or men can't go, and
Right.
so what would you say to those people who get discouraged from the overwhelmingness of helping, or
Yeah.
they don't see any fruit from it?
So we were just having this conversation. Something that I try to say to people that are trying to love others and are walking through difficult times is that you are enough. That it's not your job to save the world. Your job is to love the person in front of you to the best of your ability. And when that time or that ability is exhausted, then you have to step back and recharge and do yourself best to take care of yourself. We talk about this all the time at Community Renewal Life. If I save the neighborhood, but I lose my own house, then I've lost. You know?
Right.
And so if you're one of those individuals that is wanting to do more and is struggling trying to find your way, or if you're somebody like myself who works your butt off and then looks back and go, I don't know if that made a bit of difference, but being able to remove yourself one more step from that, because when you're right in the middle of it fighting and you look around and it looks like the world's still on fire, if you're able to step back another step and see the broader picture, often you can see the places where you really have made a difference, and people notice that. People know when you're genuine. That's it. I think if you find yourself in a situation where you're having to fake loving somebody, or having to fake an interaction with somebody, then you might need to find another place to serve. You might need to find another avenue to love people, because that's really it. If you're not finding joy in your actions and the person that's sitting across from you, or the act that you're doing to make that person's life better, then maybe you need to step back and think about something else, because there's very few circumstances where you're going to be able to step back and go, woohoo, I did it. It's always going to be a constant push, constant fight to make people's lives better, and because one person makes it to an area where they're okay, and there's a person right behind them that's just as broken as they were before, and so it has to be something that you're willing to give those efforts to, and give that away, and let it do what it does. And then sometimes just sitting and waiting is a hard thing to do. So
So go easy on themselves.
Yeah, for sure. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And like I said, you are enough. You are enough.
Well, thanks for joining us, Travis.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week.